Hi, this is Laveena Pinto here with you and welcome back to my channel Queen Bee Zone. Today I'm going to talk about the topic based on my corporate experience, the things that I learned in my corporate job. Now, when we get a job, we have a lot of expectations, and with expectations come certain challenges as well. Now, most of the challenges are so complicated that we end up giving up. We think that no, we cannot work there or something like that. But having spent my half the lifespan with the working industry, in different fields for that matter, different departments, I learned a lot of things. So today what you see me, how I've grown myself, is all dedicated to the corporate journey that I have experienced till now. So while making some points about what things I learned, the list went on and on, because certain challenges convert into the benefits at some point of time. Over the time, when you realize, okay, what happened, that situation there has given you some kind of hopes for the rest, okay, the situation must have been bad or whatever, but then overcoming that, and you would have learned from everything. Every day must be whether you see others, whether you have gone through a shit thing or anything that have come across, you're just going to learn things in life. So based on whatever I have experienced, I went to do the list, and the list became pretty long. So I've decided to make two parts of this video. So first part, I'll be talking about the half the points, and the rest half will be shared on the second. I hope you like this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, and let's get into the topic directly. So the first point is going to be, remember to look on the brighter side. Now, when I say brighter side, what I mean is that suppose you have a job and somehow you don't like it because of various reasons. I think you have to think it on a long-term process. Now, if you have different options at that point of time, then it is a different situation. But if you do not have, I think staying calm, being positive can help in many situations. Like when I joined my first job in Dubai, it was very difficult for me to understand a lot of things for that matter, because understanding the language was the problem, the time. I was alone, so I had to do a lot of things when earlier I was pampered by my parents and everything. So the challenges were not just work-wise, but also personally. But at that point, my job was so important for me that it did not matter. So I think I moved on to that. But there are some people who just can't think of it, and they want to just quit and they go back and everything like that. But on a long term, if I would have quit my job then, and if I would have thought that I'm missing my parents and something like that, I don't want to stay here or something like that, maybe I wouldn't be doing this today, what I'm doing. So basically, staying calm at certain point of time is one of the best thing. So basically, you have to start looking for the positivity in whatever you're doing and start enjoying, and you will find that success where whatever you need. Every day is difficult for some. Every day is difficult for some. It's not like that, but it will change. It's not going to be same that something happened today wrong, it is not going to continue for the rest of your time or something like that. It is going to change. So just have that little patience and look forward for the better things coming up ahead. Point is about prioritizing your task. Now, this is one of the beautiful thing that I learned in my journey. Now, what happens is when you're working, you have a lot of things to do. Maybe your meetings, your discussions, your emails and whatnot, like telephone keeps ringing. If you have a mobile, then cell phone also rings. So there are so many things happening in the morning, reporting and all. There's a process which every company follows, and there are days when you have a lot to do. Now, prioritizing tasks, learning how to do it, knowing what is important and what needs to be solved right away is something that I learned at my early stages, to be honest. I learned it through seeing my seniors and other people, but then I cultivated in my day-to-day routine. It just not only helped me in my work life, but also helped me in balancing my work and personal life, because when you know what and how to handle the important situations or the difficult situations, your half the battle is won. So this is one of the important thing which I would tell everybody, to learn how to prioritize your things. Start making notes, talk to people, take help, or do whatever that is needed, but do it in an organized manner so that you don't miss out anything. You do everything in a proper way where you will have less complaints and less issues, so that you can have a peaceful life that way. So this is one of the beautiful things that I learned, and I carry on it for the rest of my life with me. So this point is something interesting. Now, the last company which I left, we had total of around 150 people in one office, basically in different departments as usual, equally divided, like, So we had different departments as well. But imagine you're going to be around with so many people, you can learn so many things. Now, each one has got a different process, how they talk, what they do, how they manage. While some are very disciplined, when some are like, just like casual, some are like very social kind of people who keep on talking, and some are very silent people, some are just watching and learning, some are like they proactive and they do something. Most importantly, apart from these things, I got to learn a lot from my bosses, because the bosses whom I worked around were amazing. The kind of skills they had, kind of qualities they had in them were like just mind blowing. They would solve the problems just like that, and most of the time they wouldn't panic or like be okay. They used to be blunt and everything, but then there were some things which, even if they're blunt, you are just going to admire and learn from them, because I got to learn a lot of things, building patience, how to talk to people, how to carry yourself when you're going for a meeting, talking to different people on different tones. Like when you're talking to a senior from another company, you need to talk in a different tone. When you're talking to somebody else, it's another supplier, it's another tone. So I got to learn a lot of things. Not just this, more important is if you have a sales department, if you see them, they have a different knack of talking, which is really admiring. But then honestly, I'm not a salesperson and I don't like sales personally, but you get to learn a lot of things. It's not that you're in that small shell where you have to do only this kind of job or something like that. You can explore yourself and learn from other departments, whether there's an involvement of finance, there's involvement of sales, marketing and everything. Not only that, even behaviors for that matter. When you talk to your bosses, how you talk, you get to learn all these things, and you can see how they respond to you, how people respond to you. And there's a lot of learning that happens when you see around in a working industry. Point is, you are going to learn a lot of skills. Now, when I started as a receptionist and then moved to customer service. Now, each department that I worked, I learned a lot of skills. Firstly, the time management, because being on time, being punctual in anything like meetings or anything is very important. So you start learning how to balance your time to travel, considering so many aspects of traveling, your home, your everything, like so time management. You start learning negotiating skills, because I was into procurement in some point of time, bits and pieces I used to do. So I learned some things about negotiation skills, problem solving, because when you become and when you're promoted to the next level, you're not going to do that clerical job. You're going to upscale yourself by doing something else. So that's when you end up learning different skills, different job descriptions and everything, like so there are a lot of things that you get to learn. When you start dealing with finance, you try to understand what finance wants, how they work, what are the things they need, and how to solve your own challenges and solve your problems actually. Not only that, apart from that, you become a better communicator. You start communicating nicely, you improve your writing, you improve your listening skills, which is very important, because we normally tend to talk a lot. I used to talk a lot because I barely used to talk basically to answer before listening to any questions. But now I have grown up in such a way that I give time to listen and understand and know exactly, like, okay, how can I reply when I don't know something, how I should reply in a diplomatic manner. When I know, also most important is you start to bend down yourself in terms of requesting, like because requesting sometimes is very difficult. Like you just tell, okay, yes, I will do, and some point of time you learn things in a different manner. You start upscaling yourself, you start exploring yourself, and tend to be more better each and every time. So basically, working helps you to develop a lot of skills, which maybe if you're not working, I'm not sure how it works out, but if you're working, yes, of course, you can keep learning and learning and learning, and there's no end for learning. The last point would be maintaining a balanced relationship with your co-workers. Now, see, since I told that we had a very big company, it was a very big company and there were a lot of staffs, it is very important to have a cordial relationship with everyone. You should not get very close to them, nor have that indifferences, because you never know, like who can help you out. Like when I left my job, I got recommendations because I was working in that company is one thing. Second thing is that the circle where I was working, they recommended my name whenever there were some job requirements which came up, like, so there was help that came from my own colleagues actually. Now the thing is that, but always maintain that distance. When I refer to that, you need to keep your social life and your work life little different, because people tend to have build an opinion on a different terms, because in the work life what you see, you may not be the same exactly out of that, so you will be having a different life, you have a different look towards your life or something like that. So people will start comparing you there and here and create that little bit of negativity at times. May not be every time, but sometimes. And of course, if you are doing something else apart from your work, it can hamper your work and have that challenges or issues. So it is good to understand who is your friend, who is your co-worker, and how to keep that relationship cordial, so that you do not become a villain in front of them, nor have that relationship which can cause triggers at some point of time. Because as I said, people are still in touch with me, though I've left the company 2-3 years back now, and still people keep talking to me. We chat with each other. They follow me now on social media, because once you leave the job, it's okay for them to add them on your social media or whatever you're doing, like, it's okay to share information with them. But when you're there, I think it is better, and more importantly, you can have that cordial relationship and still have them as your friends, because which can continue even after you do not work there anymore, kind of thing. So it's better to have a better relationship, balanced relationship between your co-workers and your colleagues. So these were my points regarding the things that I've learned part 1 in my corporate job. Now there are a lot more things which are very interesting ones, which I'll be doing it in my second part. I hope you like this video, and do let me know your comments on this, and that will just help me to be more confident and start doing more contents which can help any new person who is trying to join work, or who is wanting to do a side hustle. So I hope you like this video, and if you liked it, do not forget to like, share and comment. Also, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. And this is Laveena signing off. Thank you so much.